Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Office of the State Controller's Quick Vids training series. These videos are designed to help state agencies record and verify various accounting requirements within R-Stars based on guidance from the Governmental Accounting Standards Board. I will be walking you through the capital asset depreciation fact pattern for the example transactions we'll be posting into R-Stars. For our example capital asset, we have a capitalizable piece of equipment with a useful life of 7 years and the amount of $591,000. It was placed into service on 10/31/2024. Additionally, there is an estimated salvage value of $20,000. We calculated an annual depreciation of $81,571.43 by subtracting the estimated salvage value from the equipment cost, and then dividing it by the useful life. We divided the annual depreciation by 12 to obtain the monthly depreciation of $6,797.62. Since the asset was placed into service on 10/31/24, that means we'll need to record 8 months of depreciation in the current year, which is $54,380.96. This is calculated by multiplying the monthly depreciation by 8. In the next few videos, we will walk you through the journal entries and how to enter them into R-Stars.
I will be entering a transaction to record yearly depreciation expense within the government-wide reporting fund. I've already mapped out my entries with the document numbers, T-codes, and accounting elements I will need to use. This information is shown at the right of my screen. Make sure that you are logged into R-Stars under the correct user class to make the entry. I'm going to log in using user class 27. And after you've logged in, navigate to the 500 screen to enter your batch header. On the 500 screen, enter your agency number. I will be using agency 107. Enter a batch date or leave the field blank. Mine is 6/30/25. Enter a batch type. For this one, it is 4, and then a batch number following your agency's procedures for how you number batches. I will be using batch 104, and then your batch count and batch amount, or leave them blank. Mine is 1, and my batch amount is $54,380.96. At this point, I will press F10. My entry will record 8 months worth of depreciation for this asset. I'm going to enter the effective date, 6/30/25, to determine which fiscal month my transactions should post, and then I will enter the current document number, which is JV 102403 and my suffix 001. I will enter my reference document, which is JV 102402-001, and then my transaction code 542. I will enter my PCA 99905 and my agency object sub 7476. I will enter the transaction amount $54,380.96 and my document amount, which is the same, $54,380.96. This entry requires an OpenGL, and so I will put 0869 for accumulated depreciation expense in the government-wide reporting fund. And then I will press F4 to bring in any lookup fields and see if I have any errors. My lookup fields have been brought in, and I do not see any errors. So at this point, I will press F10 to save my transaction. The transaction was successfully written. At this point, I'm going to press F7 to review my transaction and my entry. And then I can press F6 to make sure that my batch is balanced. My batch is balanced, so it is now ready for review and release. And that concludes my entry to record depreciation of the capital asset.
We have generated the DAFR 6610 and 6620 reports to verify the information was recorded properly. The examples used in these videos were created within the acceptance region. Since OB does not include the acceptance region, we ordered the DAFR 6610 and 6620 reports. But under normal circumstances, the DAFR 6610 and 6620 reports within the OB repository will show the same information. These reports are used by your SARS analyst in conjunction with agency disclosures to evaluate if balances and activities are recorded correctly for proper reporting in the ACFR. Therefore, it's important to review either these DAFR reports or OB queries regularly and during the year-end closing process. Scrolling through the reports briefly, we can verify the information. In the previous portion of our training, we walked you through recording $54,380.96 of capital asset depreciation expense. We see it here on the DAFR 6610 for the government-wide reporting fund in agency object 7476. Which rolls up to Comptroller Object 7476, representing depreciation expense, which is appropriate. Turning to the DAFR 6620, we also see it in the Government-Wide Reporting Fund in GL 0869 for accumulated depreciation, equipment, and machinery, which is also appropriate. Furthermore, we can note that GL's 3018 net investment in capital assets, 3074 change in capital assets, and 3600 GAAP expenditure offset have all been reduced by the depreciation amount. These transactions have been recorded correctly.